Hello everyone, welcome to part 5. Before we get started, go here to the define reset block and make sure we set the size to 100 and point in direction 90. Okay, back to what I was saying. Today we're going to be adding the player jump and the ability to die when we touch. So for this, we're going to need a few variables. Click on make a variable for the sprite only. Call it Y. Go down to make a block, call this block move, turn on run without screen refresh. Basically every block we make in this game will have run without screen refresh. Drag out the move and we're going to sandwich it in between these two looks block that I told you we're going to put code in between there. And then go to motion and drag out change Y by 10, put it above there, go to variables and drag out the Y and snap it into there. Now let's go down here to our move block and go into control and drag out if else and not and or touching ground or block. Really weird sounding piece of code. Change inside of the else part. I'm going to drag out change Y by -1 times Y, set Y to 0, and if mouse down, or actually key space pressed, and change this to key any pressed, we want to set Y to 16, and then all the way at the bottom of our code, we want to change Y by -2. Make sure this isn't in any of the statements and if statements. So now you can jump when you press the green flag and we can go all onto the blocks. But if we go through a block in Geometry Dash, that's not how it works. If we touch the side of a block, we should be able to die. Okay, let's create that bit of code. Let's go to control, drag out if, and I'm just gonna leave this outside for now. It's a bit easier to see. If touching block, change Y by 15, and if we are touching block, if we are touching the block after we move up 15 steps, change Y by 15, by -15, and set state to dead and stop the script. And then down here, change Y by -15 again. This should only run once. So basically what will happen is, say we're right here, we move into the block and we move up 15 steps. That's a little bit halfway up the block. And if we are still touching the block, that means we are in the block. So we move down again and then we die. Okay, let me just drag this block and put it right under if key any pressed and run the code. So there we go, you can see we died once we touched the wall. But if we jump over it, we should be able to live. I'm gonna make a new variable for this sprite only called the direction and hide it. And right here, change direction by -15 if we are not touching the ground. And then if we are touching the ground, we want to set direction to multiplied block rounds. Oh, that's the wrong one. Rounds. And inside of round, drag out the divided by symbol. Direction, round direction, divided by 90 times 90. And then scroll down here to the bottom of the code and drag out turn. This is a long bit of code, so just make sure to follow along carefully. Multiplied by 30. Inside of here, drag out cos, stands for cosine, I think. And then drag out plus and minus. And then go to motion and drag out direction So cosine of direction plus direction minus 90. This 30 at the end will control how fast we rotate, how smoothly we rotate, Now let me go here and press the green flag. And now you can see that we are rotating really smoothly. And down here, I'm just going to set this to 10, and you can see that we rotate much slower, but also much smoother, if that's a word. I'm just going to set this back to 30. The higher you change it, the less smooth it will be, and the more fast it will be. The last thing we're going to do is add more levels. So just click on the background sprite, reset it to 0, and reset the ground to 0. Click on the block, press the show button right here, and reset this to 0 so we can see it. Oh, actually, let me set this to -65 so it goes to the bottom. Then we're going to go into our costumes and start making our level. I'm just going to select this first block, press group. I'm going to select the block again and press Ctrl C on PC, Command C on Mac. They just had to make it different, and just move and make a new block, put it on the side, and you can see what you're creating over here. So I'm just going to make parts of the level. Alright, so this is the first part of the level. You want to make sure that your player can fit through any gaps. And this part right here, he's supposed to jump over it. He won't be able to go under it. Yeah, so I'm going to press the green flag. And here you can see that we will go to the piece of level that we created. So what you'll want to do is go into each costume and change each one so it's different than the last one. And you'll have a nice level. I'm just going to speed through that real quick. So I created 4 levels here. I left the second ones blank. I don't know what to put there yet. So let me just run through the level. Okay, and over here, if I get far enough, you'll see that the level starts to loop. So it will go on infinitely until you die or you stop. And we'll be able to change that in another tutorial. So make sure to subscribe for part 7. We'll be adding enemies and other spikes.